Should we get started?
We should get started.
Alright. Hello, welcome to the PVCC Student Lens podcast. I'm Esperanza.
And I'm Noel.
And I'm Victory. My voice
Do we want to
Let's do that
start?
yeah.
My voice just decided to yeet it so loudly.
Yeah, no,
That's
you
what
have
I'm
to give
saying,
me
I'm a
all of
little
it. You
nervous.
gotta stay on this side of the
I
half
was-
of you have to stay on this side.
I'm saying I'm a little nervous.
I'm just stuck behind
There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'll lean
Okay,
back.
let's start over. Get the jitters out. Okay. Right. Hello, welcome to the PVCC Student Lens podcast. My name is Esperanza.
I'm Noel.
And I'm Victory.
And thank you so much for listening today. It's a new podcast started by PVC students, for PVC students, and any other people that would like to come and listen. So my name is Esperanza. My field of study is STEM. I have an emphasis in mathematics. I'd like to become a professor for mathematics one day. It's my first year at PVCC, but my second semester. Some outside interests is that I love to binge watch TV and I like to make art. And I'm currently employed at a school district at an after-school program, and I work with kindergarten kids, and I absolutely love them to death. And then one interesting fact about me is I use my spare time to study Spanish to reduce my time on social media, so spending more time learning stuff instead of wasting 3 hours on TikTok. And then one thing I love about PVCC is they have these really cool foldy tables in the Buxton Library, so you can just like sit on a couch real comfy, have your coffee right next to you, your laptop ready to go.
How comfortable. Nice. You wanna go?
No, it's you. Because
Okay.
we're going like this.
Okay, and I'm Noel Roberts. This is my third year at PVCC. I am studying criminal justice and will be moving on to NAU next spring. A few things I do at our college. I'm part of the honors program now for the last 2 years, and I also am part of Women Rising Group, which I hope some of you will check out soon. I was looking for new members, and I am also president of our Phi Theta Kappa Alpha Omicron Chi chapter here, or it's our National Honor Society at PVCC, so check that out too. And in my off time, I work a job in the salon industry the last 30 years, so I see clients once a week. I do nails. I have 2 sons who are older teenage boys, and one thing I love about PVCC since I've been here is how nice everybody is. The teachers, the staff, all the students, all my classes I've just loved. I just don't think you could go to a better campus than this one.
Alright, cool. So, and I'm Victory. I use they, them pronouns. I am currently studying to get my associates in art with an emphasis in communications because I plan to go into linguistics at ASU. I am currently in my second year. It's my 4th semester here at PVCC. Some of my interests include a lot of political aspects of life, as well as I am a sucker for animals and a lot of like art related subjects. One interesting fact about me though is that I have 8 pets, and my favorite thing about PVCC and the campus is that we have a lot of more native Arizona plants, which you don't see often in a lot of the campuses here in the state. So I'm like really happy that it's like you see all the actual animals here running around instead of just like fake plants. So that makes me really happy about this campus.
Cool.
And then to move on, why did we choose a podcast for our project? So the reason that we are doing this the main reason why we're doing this project is because we are all in the same class together. We take Honors E01, which is a leadership class, and each person got to formed in a group, and we got to choose the project, and we chose a podcast. So like one of my reasons is we talked about values in class, and I think communications is great. I love connection, and I love I just like simplicity. The simpler the better, and I like making connections. And if you're out there listening and you really like what we're talking about and you really resonate with some things that we say, I think that's amazing, and I love that.
And the reason I thought doing a podcast was a great idea with our group, actually the girls were big in favor of it. I had mentioned it for another type of project, and when we got put into the group, we thought we could really take it further. I'm an older student that came back to college in my 50s, so I am finding it interesting to talk to other students that are not my age And just so that we could all get out from our walks of life to everybody who might listen, just the differences between us, but also actually a lot of similarities regardless of our ages or lifestyles or where we live or who we live with. So I think that it's just important to bring some of those topics out to everybody else.
And for me, it's like a little combination of the two, because communication is like a real big thing for me, and like being able to like talk with people. So with the fact that we're doing this, it has a wider range of people that can actually hear us and know what's up, rather than any other projects that were suggested, which were a lot more like specific for one group or a different group. So we were like really down for just the diversity that we can reach with this project.
And on top of that, we all have really strong and really big personalities. So I feel like we kind of all decided that we should talk about things that, not just about like, oh, advisement, counselors, not just school related things, but life related things, some issues, whether it be like political, social, whatever it is. And then to move on, if you're wondering why we're wearing these bright red shirts that say honors on them, and if you are listening,
necessarily bright,
I would say I agree with Victory.
They're bright to me. As someone who only likes to wear black, they're bright to me. But I was gonna say, if you're listening in and you are not watching the YouTube version of this, we are wearing red shirts that are apparently not bright, that say honors on them. So we are part of something called the honors program, which I did mention earlier, which is the class that we all take currently right now. So honors is a program at PVCC that a lot of students can get into through their GPA. I think it's 3.5.
We need 3.5
to get into the honors program. And you don't have to be a high school student transitioning into college. You could just be like just starting college, or you could be like homeschooled or something and just starting college, and you can get into the honors program. Some really cool things about it that I really like is they offer a wide variety of classes, or just like really fun ones. And what was I gonna say? And there's a lot of cool activities that you do outside of the honors program. Like last semester I went on an honors retreat for freshman honors students, and it was so fun. I went ziplining, and I climbed up a tree, which sounds horrible outside of its context, but I got to meet so many people, and I'm still friends with some of the people that I actually met from that retreat. And so experiences like that are something that are just irreplaceable.
And I was going to mention some of the classes too. I didn't get to go on that co-curricular, which sounds like a blast, but I did take AST 111 last semester with Jenny Newjoy. It's an astronomy course, which I thought was going to be very difficult because that's not really my forte. But she made it so fun. We did everything in groups, so if we weren't good at math, somebody in our group was probably good at math. Plus she helped us along the way. But we got to learn about really interesting things about our universe. And just honestly, it made astronomy more interesting to somebody who isn't in that field. Like I said, I'm criminal justice, more English side of academics. So I highly recommend that one. And also Honors 190. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. I'm going to say Psych 101 with Professor Schmidt. It's an honors course. I think everybody who comes into college should take it their first year. It really helps you understand just different people you might run into along the way. I wish I'd had it 30 years ago when I was 18 or 40, so more than 30 years ago. Anyway, so I highly recommend that one. Plus it's fun. It's a super interactive class. We were all in campus together. And I do want to mention too that with the 3.5, you also do need 12 credits under your belt to then apply. So once you have 12 credits done, you can apply with the 3.5.
So both me and Esperanza took honors 190 last semester, which is where we got to know each other a bit better because we went to high school together, but we didn't like talk a whole lot. But honors 190 is like a lot of fun because you get to know a lot of people in the honors like group and make a lot of friends because you have to work in groups for like a specific project, as well as like learn to communicate really well with your classmates, especially after all of this stuff with being on Zoom and not talking to a lot of students. Honors 190 is a good jumping off point with like going back to in-person classes.
Especially if you are a high school student that is transferring into college, it's a great course to start off with. They teach you how to write a resume. They teach you how to be prepared in terms of finances. We did some really cool volunteer events. I did some with Professor JD, if you get in honors, you'll know JD. You just know him. He's that kind of guy. But we went to go to feed my starving children, and I had never volunteered before, and that was a really cool experience, and I probably will do it again, maybe like twice a year or something like that. But just, just stuff like that you're like, oh, I don't know if I would really ever do that. I don't know if I really put myself out there. And like Victory said, we went to high school together, we never talked, and now I see her every day, and now she's one of my...
Talk? You weren't like friends? I just assumed you were. That's so
no,
cool.
so we were different grades, but we had the same art class, but like on opposite sides of the classroom.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, especially in art, you're not very social. Everyone has their earbuds plugged in, they're just like doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
if people were talking in art, it was like, oh my gosh,
Annoying.
that guy. Yeah.
Okay, that's so neat. I did not know that.
That's some things to learn about honors. It's a really great program, and even if you don't get into it, there's still so much about PVCC that you can explore and like learn to love about it. So
What were your favorite classes for honors so far? Did you?
Okay, so I started last semester, even though I've been here for 2 years now. I could not figure out how to get into honors.
Okay.
For the first year, because I had asked people, and they're like, "Yeah, just go into honors," and I'm like, "You're gonna explain?" But they didn't, so it took me until my third semester, last semester, to actually get into it.
So let's just say, so people who are also maybe confused, how did you eventually find out, and what was it?
It was a lot of talking to a lot of different people.
Did you finally go online?
Well, I was online a lot, and I just could not find the application, because people kept saying just apply, and I'm like, I can't find the application. So I finally bothered my my counselor until they were like, okay, yeah, no, here's the actual link to it. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you.
So that's a good resource to know for students who are listening. We do want to also talk about the resources our school has to offer in case you weren't here the last couple years or haven't been to campus, even though there's classes on campus now again. There's a lot of resources, and counseling that Victory just mentioned is one of them. There's academic counseling, and there's actually personal counseling. It's all free, even the personal counseling. And we also have things that free tutoring. There's an e-commons building that has our library in it, but it also has a full bank of computers, copy machines. Now the copies do cost, I think, 5 cents, but it's available to use for all the students. And what are some of the other?
Well, there's a cool thing in here where there's 3D printers as well in the e-commons. That's really cool, and you'll see people learning how to use them, even on their off time. So it's a cool thing as well.
That is cool that we have those.
I would say, just to wrap up, what is one piece of advice that you would give to people who are either starting college or in college, whether it be our PVCC or just any other community or university? What's a good piece of advice that you would give to people?
I can start. So for me, trying to keep yourself in a planner or any sort of schedule that makes sense to your brain, because if you try to make it just in your head, it's very hard to keep up with, especially if you have a bunch of different kinds of classes, because I have an in-person class, I have a Zoom class, and then I have 3 online classes. But if you don't keep up with all of them, it makes it a lot more difficult and stressful. So having a planner or making yourself a pseudo schedule is the best thing you can do going in.
And I would just have to say, use your resources on campus. Read on our front page of paradisevalleycommunitycollege.edu, at the very bottom, there's all these white links to all the departments, and I just suggest that you check them all out on your computer, because you'll be able to use at least half of them or maybe more. And just while you're here, even if you don't take classes on campus, doesn't mean you can't use the resources on campus. And that includes, we have a fitness center. It's a very low amount of money, or you can take it for credit. So I would just say that, just use our resources. We have so much here to offer.
My piece of advice would be do not be afraid to ask questions, and do not be afraid to have your voice be heard. In high school, I wasn't very outgoing, and when I came to PVCC, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it a rule that I'm gonna ask questions when I really don't know. I'm gonna make it a rule to just put myself out there and try my best to communicate with other people. and it has changed everything about school. Like, I have met so many people, like there's so many connections, and it's really great. And I feel like the more you're just curious about things and the more that you speak up on those curiosities, the better your experience is gonna be, because now you're just learning so much information all at once, and then you're meeting all these really awesome people, and it's just overall a great experience. And even if you're extremely introverted, it's the best thing that you can do for yourself as a new college student, for sure.
So, and I also think we should say, since it's our intro episode, just a little bit about what they can expect to hear coming up in the next couple episodes, or maybe like what we're gonna share with them in general, just to have a sense of what's gonna,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that way you listen and then you don't give up on us. When
Yeah,
we're like,
we have a
on us.
lot
Okay.
more.
all they're gonna
lot
talk
more.
about
That's
is
so pessimistic.
themselves.
Well, we are gonna talk about ourselves for sure. Well, that's gonna be episode 10. But and please tune in. We are gonna have this on YouTube and Apple TV. And this is our first episode, but we should hopefully have 10 after this one, once a week, coming out on Fridays around noon. So keep a lookout, and we hope also that you guys will like, share, and stay in touch.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Sorry. See, I'm the
Please
old,
listen.
the old person here. Subscribe. I knew there was something I was missing. So why don't you tell us, Esperanza, about the other things we're going to be talking about, or some of them?
So some topics that we have talked about is stuff like occupations, managing relationships, platonic, family, romantic, oh my gosh. Financial stability was a good one. We're gonna talk about like gender, pronouns, outlook, LGBT struggles, family acceptance. So we're gonna be talking about some pretty big topics. Mainly we're focusing on our next episode, which will be on the 24th. We're gonna do PVCC 101, so that will be student resources. So in case you're like, I already know about PVCC, I'd say maybe still listen, maybe you'll learn some new things.
Right.
And then after that, we have a special guest coming on the pod. That will be March 3rd. And then we're gonna be talking about majors and talking about just stuff like that, and how that affects our view as students, since we're the student lens and how we see things, depending on our majors or what we do outside of school.
Perfect.
Heck yeah.
Well, you guys, it was so fun. Our first official podcast together for the PVCC Student Lens. And anything else you guys want to share at the end?
I'm good. I can't think of anything else.
I just say thank you for listening. If you are listening, we appreciate that so much. Any feedback would be incredibly
Right,
helpful. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and comment whatever,
Yeah.
any feedback, or saying, this is a great job, good job guys,
Yeah,
something like
kudos are
that.
always good.
Yeah, feedback is great, and we would love to hear from you.
I mean, we are getting a grade for this, so
Yeah.
a lot of thumbs up.
Kind of
or-
rides on you, listeners. Please
Awesome.
give me an A.
All right, you guys. Well, we're going to see you guys back here again on February 24th. It'll drop on the 25th, and this episode is going to drop tomorrow on February 18th. So this episode, I'm going to cut that out. This episode is going to drop tomorrow on February 18th at about noon. So we'll see you there.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
listening.
Oh, shit. Again, see, I'm like, oh, don't put it in front. Oh, don't put it in back either.
That's why I put it all the way over there.
See?